Hey, Abigail, or Abby, I guess is probably what you go by. Um, just take a look at your file here. I want you to make sure you're on Window Workspace Essentials Classic. Make sure that's checked so that we have the same workspace. So I'm on the black arrow tool. If I go to Edit Artboards, I can see that you're not set up properly. We want the width to be 3 and the height to be 3, and then just push Return. Get back on that black arrow tool and click off. I think that this is your, you started to image trace the kind of circle shape, but you do need to expand it. That will put in a white background. This doesn't look great, actually. I think maybe because I'm missing the file. But when you have it in there, your PNG file, I think it's a PNG. I don't have it because it's missing, but if you push expand, you should be able to get it to turn into a vector image. You can see that it's vector now because it has, dots and anchor points. And if I grab the white arrow tool, I can delete the white areas. I can push shift on my keyboard and get multiple selected. I might have to push my delete more than once. Sometimes it helps to select the white shape and then do select same fill color, and then you can just push delete once, and that will delete all of the white in that image. This isn't looking as good as it would if it was on your computer, but since I'm missing that PNG file, it looks different. But once you image trace that PNG that you brought in, you could just add that back over here. I think that this is grouped, so I can ungroup it, and I can grab this, and if I go scroll down up to the bottom of the properties panel, with this selected the text box with the black arrow, you can create outlines, which all of your text should be outlines. I like how you're continuing the line here from designs. I would actually select this stroke that you made and go to Object Path, Outline Stroke. So now you can see that's actually just a shape now, like a kind of a, instead of a stroke, the stroke looks like this with a line through the middle, but if we do Object Path, I did a Command Z. Outline Stroke, you can see how it changes to being a fill color now inside of a kind of a curved looking rectangle almost. So what that does is it allows us to push shift on our keyboard, get everything selected, and then we can go to the Shape Builder tool right here. It's kind of underneath this banana looking tool. And if we zoom in, we're going to have to zoom in quite a bit, Command plus, and I'm using the space bar to get the hand tool, but if I'm on the Shape Builder, you can actually drag lines through. I'm going to use the hand tool, the space bar, and drag lines to connect all of these shapes into one clean, continuous shape. So I'm just dragging lines through. For some reason, all of these are separate shapes, even in your designs text. But now that should be all one shape. This A is filled in, but if I push Option on my keyboard, I can click on that, and that will subtract it. You can see the little minus sign on next to my cursor when you push Option, or Alt, I believe, on a Windows machine. So something like that is pretty good. And then I think with some of these, we might want to add like a stroke of black to the outside of these, just to beef them up a little bit. Because when that shrinks down, we don't want it to get too fine of detail. So if I zoom out and just click and drag over everything, use the Free Transform tool, which is over here. This is good for sizing things. If we push Shift, should be able to get this to fit on our artboard now. And we can group it again. And yeah, that's looking better. So yeah, I think that works pretty well. You might want to also maybe, I'm not sure what the H stands for. It might be your middle name. I'm not sure, but maybe that's your middle name. So that we know what the AH stands for. You might want to add that underneath. maybe in one line, in a good font. Maybe whatever font you used for the AH might be good. And then if I go here to the 3 dots, I can make it all caps quickly with the uppercase T's that were there. And maybe we could make it a little bit larger so that it fills the space nicely. Of course we don't want it too big, but we can always move this up a little bit too. So if we ungroup it and just move this graphic up a little and then move this, something maybe like that, might work pretty well for your logo. And then we just need to create outlines on these. I'm not saying this is the best font, but I think it does explain what the H stands for, because if they just see AH Designs, that's great, but maybe having the Abigail Hayden underneath might explain it a little bit more to your average viewer. And I think, that looks pretty good. You could try it without this, and you could maybe put it inside of like a rounded rectangle tool, maybe something like that, and put it underneath, like arrange sent to back. And then you'd have to transfer all of your other designs besides into like white. And you'd have to see if you like that. Okay. This stroke might be too big. So 0.75 maybe something like that. This is a little bit more boring. I'm not sure if I like that better. Just trying something out, but you could try, maybe getting rid of that outer circle and trying a more compact design, because there's a lot of extra space on the top and bottom, but I think it still technically works. So anyway, and then I would just make sure Abigail Adams logo BW, so that this is a black and white. And then once you get the black and white looking the way you want it to, just save it, just do a file save, and then do a file save as, and save out, the CMYK as well. So you'll have a BW and a CMYK. So technically we do BW, let's just make a desktop, new folder, logo, design project, create, Abigail Adams logo, black and white, save that, push OK, and then we need to export out our JPEG file, and we want to make sure this is on JPEG. We don't need to change the name. Use Artboards does need to be selected, push export. Here is important as well. We want that on actually we can put that on grayscale and on high and push OK. And then you do a file save as and name this CMYK. Save that. This is the AI file CMYK, so this is where you would add color to your design, whatever you want. Let's say that's all I want. Save that, and then do your file export as, and you want to do the same thing, JPEG. You don't need to change the name. Export that. Make sure this is in CMYK for the CMYK file. Make sure that's on high and push OK. So when we go into our folder on our, in our documents, I put mine on the desktop, but you'll have these 4 files, and you want to remove these -01s from these file names. Illustrator started doing this a few years ago, and it's really annoying. And then you would just do a control or command or control click or right click on a PC and compress or zip your file up to create that zip file that I would want for a grade. So anyway, hopefully this video was helpful. Thanks. Bye.